Hi, my name is Alejandro Pérez Pérez, and this is the AI Coffee Podcast. Every week, you will have one disruptive aspect of technology and artificial intelligence for the time you drink a cup of coffee. Today, we are going to talk about data, but also about a person who is very passionate about that. For doing that, we have a very, very inspirational guest. Her name is Sofia. Welcome, Sofia. How are you?
Hello, Alejandro. Nice to meet you. I'm good too. Today is Friday and happy to be here with you.
Well, thank you. Sofia Kosenko is an Ukrainian data governance specialist currently based in Spain. And Sofia's story is one of resilience and reinvention. She started working as a translator and now she became a data governance expert. So this is a very special thing. Maybe we will talk about that during the interview. But also, she is nowadays member of Dama España, and she contributes to data quality and interoperability working groups and regularly educates businesses on best practices in data management. So, Sophia, your story is a story of reinvention. You are young yet. I mean, I feel that you are young, but you study languages, you study translation. I guess you can speak at least three languages perfectly because before that we have been speaking Spanish really, really nice. And why did you decide to start working with data governance? Because it feels like really like a big distance between these two fields.
I didn't choose that. Data governance chose me in reality because I always dreamed to be a translator since I was very young, like 8 years old. And I did everything possible to get into that field and to study that. And when I started working as translator, I understood that something's missing. And the part that was missing to me was the part of taking decisions or guiding people to taking decisions. And I was like, okay, so I speak languages. How can I uh, translate it to other field, or what can I do? And I was a little bit lost. That's why I decided to do an executive MBA. I've been in Spain already. So I decided, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do the executive MBA, and then I will decide what field I want. And the thing was that I never imagined myself working in IT field because it was more male field
Mm-hmm.
than female one. And I was thinking about, okay, I wanted to work in male field because it's so passionate, it's so interesting. I wanted to become the part of that and put the female strong enforcement in there, right? But I wasn't taking into consideration the IT field one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about finance. And then I was graduating from my executive MBA, and an analytical company called me and they said, oh, we need someone from business that knows business, that has a lot of year, not a lot of year, but a few years already of experience in business field. So, but you will learn everything about IT and analytics, and that happened in the first 6 months. I learned about Python, SQL. What are data lakes? What are ETLs? What is data? How to treat it? What are the issue of data treatment? And how does it affect all the components, especially the people one. And then I got a call from Colibra. This is a data governance tool company, and they called me and they offered me to join their team. So after starting, being a few years in analytical part, I joined data governance, and I fall in love with data governance and data management. That was like a magic for me. I love puzzles,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it feels to me like a puzzle to do, and it's very
But
exciting for me.
But wasn't it really hard to go in a field which is very, very different, even though you were prepared, as you mentioned, you learn how to code in Python, SQL, and what all the concepts were. Wasn't it really hard? And maybe wasn't it like a moment during your process where you were thinking, okay, maybe I should go away from this and continue in translation, continuing a career there, because it's also a very nice career as well. But you directly said, "No, I will continue on the flow and I will see what's going on." So I'm curious about that. I'm curious.
It's still hard. It's still
Okay.
hard because sometimes I feel that I don't belong to this world because I work with very great people that they have like 30, 40 years of experience in this field, and I'm learning a lot from them, but it's still hard. And it was hard. I remember out from my working hours, a lot of extra hour that I put into learning, and I'm still putting it into learning because and we are talking about the field that it's so scalable, it's so changing, and we're not talking that it's changing from today to in 5 years. No, we're talking that from today in 6 months
Hmm.
you will have a lot of new stuff, a lot of updates that you have to use to them, and you have to implement them in your strategy. There will be a lot of new books so with strategy, new certifications, and you have to be ready to embrace them, to work with them, and to understand them. And then a lot of times, because this data governance, it's about transmitting to people what the importance of it for their companies, and there is a lot of uh, change management, and people are still are not ready for that, because we are talking about IT field industry where are old school. There is a lot of old school people, and
Mhm.
especially when we're talking about the one who are taking decisions. So there it's like you have to struggle all the time, and with this struggle you have to transmit that you know more, even more than you really know. So that's why it's still hard, but this is the magic of this job, of this work, because you are in the constant learning. You work with great people, and I'm not the only one. I knew women that went from history or philosophy, and they are in AI and data field, and they are very happy. But they had to go through this change in very difficult way, and they are still going through this. But
Mhm.
this is the exciting part. And then the other thing that I always love to commend is the community, data community in the whole world. So I'm not talking only about Spain, but also about Ukraine, about I don't know, UK, Germany. They are so close to each other. They are trying to transmit you their knowledge, their experience all the time. So if you need any help, they will assist you. It doesn't matter if they are busy or they are not even working anymore in this field, but they will try to help you as much as possible, because I think that we all went, or we are all going through the same struggle. And
Hmm.
I think we feel each other. And yeah, so this helped me a lot. And when I talk to people from finance or insurance, they are complaining a lot about people they are working with. So like, no, they are trying to have all the information together without sharing that. And I was like, I'm so lucky because I have people that they are not saving for themselves that information, but they are working hard to create new stuff. And then they go and they share that with you, and you can use it. They don't, they are not worried that you will use it incorrectly. They are happy all the time to help you to embrace that and to go with it into the market.
Hmm. You talk about many different topics. I already noted some, but let's also open something before we can continue with the data governance, which is the main
Yes,
topic of this episode. And it's also something I mentioned quickly, and it's your origin. You come from Ukraine, and now
yes.
you are based in Spain. So I would like also you to talk about if that was also a challenge for you coming from another country, coming to Spain in this case, also also being aware of the situation you and your relatives could live in your home country. So um, was it like a challenge for you that maybe pushes you harder in the professional aspects, or what do you think about that?
I think that it helped me to get used to that change that I live every day with. And I don't think that it was too hard because I was preparing myself my whole life to move to Spain because I was, and I still in love with this country. And I moved to Spain 10 years ago, and it was fascinating to me that a country where with good weather, good food, great people, and I don't feel myself very Ukrainian. I feel in a lot of times I feel myself more Spanish than Ukrainian. Yeah, but moving from one country to another, even if we are talking inside of Europe, because it's even harder if you are moving from other one continent to another one, because of
Hmm.
cultural change, because of people way of thinking, way of living, schedules, and about schedules, I'm frightened about schedules in Spain. Still, 10 years after, is like, oh, I cannot get used to that. But then at the end, the great thing is that when you are moving from one country to another, you're leaving a great part of your life behind. It's never easy because in so many ways you have to start from the beginning. And look at this, for example, I started in data governance and data field in general like 6, 7 years ago. But 10 years ago, I went through this similar process of leaving behind something that I was used to do, the way I was used to think, behave myself, and switch from one way of living to another, leaving all that behind and starting building all from the scratch. And the same happened basically here in data field because first I started in analytic field and I loved it, I enjoyed it, but something was missing there, and I switched to data governance. That uh, it's not easy to switch from even from one field, data field to another one, but it was easier than to switch from translator career than to another. And then I speak 5 languages, and sure. Languages are the great way to build your career, to get closer to people, to work together with them, to understand their way of thinking, to understand their way of behaving in one situation or another, the empathy that you can develop knowing languages, and the way that how people will treat you when you know those languages and you try to speak with them and they are getting closer and more familiar to you. And this helps a lot.
Hmm. Wow, it's a long story of changing, but yeah, but the good thing is that you're still very passionate about what you are doing. And you told me just at the beginning, before we start recording, you told me that you feel really lucky because you're doing something that passionates you a lot. And also, it connects to one question I had prepared for also this interview. And it's something I read on your LinkedIn profile. And you said that you feel passionate about data's power to create positive change.
Yes.
And I will open directly here a conversation about what's data governance for you from this perspective of maybe this superpower of changing the world positively.
So, yes, I really think that good data can change the world. Basically, because we are all data citizens. We are data products sometimes, and I would say that in a lot of times we are data products. So we switched from using data products that we were not conscious about that those apps or those stuff that the online stuff that we were using, it was data product, but now we became this data product, and it's very difficult to live in this world because it's very overwhelming.
Hmm.
And that happens to us a lot with some basic stuff like news or social media that we are using. How much one person can spend on social media and news media per day, like 3 hours, sometimes even more. I'm user of LinkedIn and I use a lot, and there is a lot of data there. So this is from the perspective of user, right? And this become overwhelming, and we don't have a good quality data right now. That's why that garbage that we have we are surrounded with, it's difficult to handle. And from the user, so I can tell you the data can change the world. Good data can change the world because bad data also can change the world. But what change do we want? This is the question. And all the fake news, all the deepfakes, all the information, and all the issue that we may have with the data, eh, they will affect us, right? And then companies, there are companies, and when I started working in this field, I realized that companies are selling data. No, I knew that. I always knew that companies are selling data. But I realized when I started working in data governance that companies are selling data, but they don't even know of what quality the data is. And this data is used for researches, for studies, for decision making. So what kind of decisions are taken on data that it's not of good quality? Or what decisions are taken on data that, let's say, you are not even aware of what quality this data has? And I think that this part, the last one, is even worse than when you really know what quality data you have and you know what kind of decision or what outliers or what deviation will happen. But if you are not even conscious about the quality of that data, you can cause more harm, more damage, but without even being conscious about it. So all these questions are so important for me and for companies now because thanks God we are in Europe, and here a European Commission, European Union, they are creating this data acts, data governance AI Act, about those blueprints of how we should treat our data. What is the meaning of the positive result? Who are the participants of those processes? What we should deliver to citizens? Uh, I am data governance specialist, but really I'm working in more stuff with data right now. For example, data spaces. And the reality is the following: that there is a lot of data around us. It's not organized. It's not. It doesn't have a good quality, and it has a lot of issues that no one knows how to solve. And here, where data governance or AI governance, because now we have another hot topic that it's not still hot topic of this year, but it will be the hot topic of the next year, of like how should we govern in AI to have those good results and to control it, because we don't want to be controlled by AI or by data.
Mhm.
So
It's it it's very interesting what you are talking, and while you were talking, it reminds me to another episode I recorded a couple of months ago. I think it was the 18th with Alex Smolthau, and he said something that I love, a sentence that now I use it often, which is data is the new plastic. And
oh
I
my
must
gosh, yes.
confess that if I feel like that, like nowadays, data, as you mentioned, bad quality data is everywhere, and it is like plastic. Like we throw it away. We have tons of plastic in nature, and it is destroying the world. So the same the bad quality data is doing. We have tons of terabytes of petabytes of data in data centers all over the world, which is completely rubbish. It's amazing how we are creating data. Even I mean, now we are recording a podcast. It's data. We are recording everything. I mean, we go from home. We have an application that tracks the way we move, tracks everything, tracks our routines, tracks everything. So um, how can we govern that? Is it maybe can you say a couple of phrases about how can we govern these tons of data and create good quality data with this, let's say, rubbish sometimes?
Look at this. I totally agree with the sentence that data is a new plastic. But look at this. Trace the difference. Like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, we've been talking the data is a new oil. How we went in 5 years saying that we went from data is a new oil to data is a new plastic. And this also goes to the microplastic, so microdata that is everywhere. How does it affect our daily life? So yeah, how we can go and look, we cannot wait that the government or someone else will take the responsibilities, accountability of what data we manage and how is our data managed. So first of all, we should be responsible for ourselves. We have to consume data responsibly. We have to share our data responsibly. We have to introduce ourselves on how we can protect ourselves from being part of that damage, right? Because I know people, I went to Lisbon Web Summit and I heard a few people saying, no, I am putting documents into ChatGPT and it helps me a lot on my daily life. And I was like, no way, you are just kidding me, right? No. Working, it helps me a lot. And I was, but you know that it's not revocable, the right of recollecting data from ChatGPT. So what kind of data do you put in there? Oh no, but it's just for me. And I was like, yeah, but ChatGPT, like any other tool of this kind, it's learning from your data. So you are putting there some maybe sensitive information that is not supposed to get anywhere, just stay with you or inside of your company. So, and this is just an example of how people are treating their own data. That's why I told you at the beginning about that we are data products. And then you said Google is recording our steps. If you are going to Google Maps and you have an activated option, so you can see what are the steps that you took during the day and the routes of those steps. And I know I have a friend of mine, ex-colleague. He was like, I was so drunk yesterday that I didn't know how can I get home. So I went to Google and resulted that I went walking 5 kilometers from Madrid city center to my home, and it showed me all the route that I took from
Wow.
that place to my home. And it was like, yeah. And this is how big companies like Google or Amazon or any other will take your data and will convert it into the product that will be sold to other people. And so now it's not about companies, it's more about us. How do we work? How do we treat data in companies? How do we treat data in our daily life? How do we treat our data? What we expose? And this responsibility, we have a guidance from European Union, from a Spanish government, datos.gov, where you have those blueprints about how to protect yourself, how to protect your data, what steps you have to take to do it better. So the point here is that people should understand that importance and
Mhm.
learn. You don't have to know about data governance or data management because you are not from the field and it's okay. But how do you govern your own data or the data that you work with on your daily life, like if you work in finance or accounting or sales, how you treat that data, what you do with it, and what are the results that are coming in return from the data. And these points are very important to understand because at the end it will help us and we can come back to the question how it can make the world better or worse. We are responsible at this moment to all that stuff that is happening in the world because even with news, with social media, a lot of times we're not even filtering what information we consume.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with you. And also, That reminds me to another podcast I listened recently that says that now in 2024, the time we are recording this, now it's too late because we have the idea that I think we all know that these super big companies are learning from us, like are taking data of the way all the routines we have, the way we, I don't know, behave, we talk to others. But now it feels like it's too late. And actually, you mentioned the Google Maps tracking stuff. I guess that now they are taking it out because they don't need it. They already know how all our routines are going to be in the future, even because they know us. And then they know us. They usually say that they know us better than ourselves. So they know when we are going to get a cold, even before we are starting having symptoms, just because I don't know, maybe we have a pattern of living. I don't know, maybe we went outside when it was too cold, and they know that there was a flu epidemic in a specific point, because they have all this context, not only from you or from me or from the person is listening to this podcast. They have the context of everyone. So as they have this data, they have a lot of information, and apparently now it's too late, because even though if we take all our data from internet, no, we don't produce anymore. It's too late. They don't have already all the information. I don't know, what do you think about that? I don't want to be pessimistic, but it's like maybe it's now we are in another paradigm like moment nowadays. We are not talking about we need to protect ourselves from something that's going to happen in the future. Maybe it's like something is already happening because we didn't protect ourselves before. So what are your thoughts about that?
Look, if you are trying to be pessimistic, I'll try to be optimistic, okay? Because
Hmm.
I really love technology, and no, I love when my life is easier.
Hmm.
And if it's with help of technology, I am even happier. And if data had part of that, and in 99% data took part of that development, I'm even more happy because it means that companies are using my data, at least for me, well, and it's okay. So why do we have all these data products, all this technology, all the analytical models, all the ML, AI? They've been created to make good, not harm.
Hmm.
They are supposed to do a good stuff for us to to make our life easier, cooler, more interesting, so we can dedicate ourselves to other interesting things, right? I heard a sentence saying like AI won't take your job. AI is supposed to take the tasks from your job that you don't want to do or you are not supposed to do, so you can dedicate yourself to other things that are more complicated and require human intelligence. And I'm happy with it, with all the automation that can happen. And I'm there supervising and making sure that everything's good. I'm happy because I can dedicate myself to thinking about strategies, to thinking about to learn to read books, to talk to people, and I don't have to be there like a monkey doing automatic. Not automated, manual stuff, and be not so happy like I am. So the idea of technology is to make our life better.
Hmm.
The other thing that the human nature, I studied psychology for 2.5 years. The human nature is different because we are curious, and not always our curiosity goes for good things. It sometimes goes to bad things, or doing things for fun. It not always means that everyone will have fun.
Hmm.
Maybe someone will be damaged from that point. That's why deep fakes were burned, because we have the data that we're putting, and we had the result that some people are having fun, other people are hurt, and other people are not even able to filter that information in order to understand if there's something that really happened or not. So, and the human being is not always thinking about the closest one, and things happen what happen, and then there is a lot of money in this industry. So A big company, they don't care about your well-being. They want to create data products, and some data products are amazing. For example, Spotify. I know that they are not very good with composers, with artists, but for me, it's a tool that from my daily life, it's a must. I cannot get rid of it because Spotify already knows what music I want to listen to. And this makes me happy. So,
Hmm.
bravo for people who are working in data area in Spotify because they are doing really great job uh, with those analytical and ML models, predicting what I want to listen next, creating new data products. And this is amazing. There is a lot of companies that they are doing amazing job, and we should take it into consideration. But the reality is that not all the companies doing the amazing job, and but for this reason, we have authorities like governmental authorities who are all the time aware of what the danger, what the issue, what the problem. And then I know that I talk a lot, but other thing, the scams, what happened today. The scams that are happening today with our citizens, they are just a result of bad data governance inside the companies. What do I want to say with this? That data governance, it's about all the data management processes inside of your company being unified and being aware of what processes do you have, in what state they are, what are the people that you have in your resources, how do these people handle different processes, and what technology supports those people and those processes, right? But as a lot of companies, they don't care about data governance. They think that if I have a security area, it will solve all my issues. No, because you have a lot of components inside of your company that will lead you to some issues that security area maybe are not aware, and it's out of their control. That's why I think that data governance as data management, the good data management practices, they will help to protect every one of us because these scams are happen to governmental institution. The not scams, sorry, scams happen to us, but the data leakage that is causing those scams, it's happening to the public administration, to the private companies, into every one of us. I've been called by scammers telling the exact number of my ID in the energetic company, my name, my last name, my address, the city, my passport number, and I already trusted them, thinking that it was my company. But then I changed my mind, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so busy. Can I call you later?" And I called my company, my energetic companies, and sorry, I had a call from your department, customer success department, saying that there is a change in my contract. Could you confirm that? And they were like, we are not changing contracts. We are not
Hmm.
changing anything. And you wouldn't be even contacted by the phone with all your data exposed. So it's a scam. So, and this happens in Ukraine, in Spain, in the whole world, and we are not protected. That's why I say that on one side, on one hand, we have ourselves who has to be aware of the damage that can cause all the data that is around us, but also companies and government, they have to understand that data governance, data management, it has a huge importance in order to avoid a lot of issues that can happen and to protect citizens.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree, and I'm usually optimistic. Just to clarify it, that I agree with you that these ethical aspects regarding data are very, very important. And actually, talking about deepfakes and scams and all that stuff, it sometimes makes me feel insecure because I already had something like that recently. Like just when I ask it for I'm a freelance, so I ask it for a specific thing in the in the Spanish government, and like 2 3
Yeah.
days later, I got a call from someone knowing the specific
Mm.
thing, knowing all my data. And the first 2 minutes of the conversation, I was like, as you said, I was thinking that it was, of course, as they know all my data, and they know that they knew that I applied for that. I was thinking that, okay, maybe that should be normal. And then hopefully I didn't give them any other information, any other thing. But at the end, it was like super scared, because it's like, wow, they know a lot of things about us because of these thefts of data that are something that could happen nowadays. So it's very, very scary. But just, Sophia, because we are little by little running out of time, I would like to talk about one other thing which is relevant, and it's the future. How do you see the future of data governance now that we are in the AI world? You talk a bit about the AI spaces in the future. So, how do you see that everything is going to be in the future?
I would I would love to think in positive way, but here I will take the more negative part of that, because on one side there's a lot of things that are done pretty well till now, but government has been there about the blueprint that we are having. But then again, going to Lisbon, I talked to a lot of people. I heard a lot of speeches, and the conclusion that I had that right now AI it's a hot topic of everyone. If you start taking shots for every time that you hear AI during the day till at lunch you will be drunk already. So the thing are like this, but the point here is that I still feel that a lot of companies they think that AI is born out of nowhere, and they are not conscious that data it's part of that AI. And I had a lot. This model isn't working. It's like the model should work because in other companies this the model worked pretty well. But let's take a look to the data that you are putting in that model. What is the quality of that data? Where did you take the data? What is the source of that data? So there is a lot of questions that can you can put. So I think that AI it's very important for us right now, but it's even more important to handle it well, so we will be able to control it and not vice versa. And the way to do so it's data governance and data management, because you need to clean up your house first and then invent technology, because then in the end the base of the innovation, the base of AI is data. The foundation of all this stuff is data, and you need to know how to govern it, because we are not like 20 years ago that you had like thousands of entrance data entrances, thousand, okay, hundreds of data entrances per day. Now you have million of data entrances per day sometimes. So you need to know how to govern it. If you don't know how to do it, how to manage it well, how to govern it, it will fail. And okay, I know that companies don't like to talk about this stuff. Let's talk about how much money they are going to spend and they will lose those money, because basically because they are not managing and governing their data well. But okay, you cannot, maybe you can allow yourself not to manage data well or govern it well because you don't have enough knowledge. But what company do or don't do is to be aware of the importance of those processes for your future of digitalization or future of innovation, develop an AI strategy in house. And this the thing that I'm trying to struggle with all the time. Every time that I talk to someone, like I know that AI it's a great stuff. For some people, it's cool things to play with, but we need to do it thinking in the future, about the future, and we need to do the things well, because I don't think that it's too late. We are still on time, because all the things that are happening, they happen like in last 10 years, not even 20, 10 years. So we are still on time, but it's true that garbage in, garbage out. We have to take it as a mindset in our companies, in our daily life, because now you go to the internet, you can put the name and the last name of the person, and you can find all the information, but the information that they are not even aware that exists. I'm not even aware that it exists, because if you, I still can find some profiles of mine with some information of 15 years ago where I
Mhm.
created, but I didn't even remember that they still exist. Then you go to the internet, you're like, oh my gosh, what did I publish here? I don't like that. So nothing bad, but you don't even remember what you did 10 years ago and what data you exposed and where that data is now. So, and this is scary.
Yeah, but as I agree that when you mentioned at the beginning that data is the most relevant thing of AI, because I sometimes have I'm in a project that we want to create an ML model,
Yeah,
and everything looks wonderful except of the data. So the model at the end of the day, it's rubbish, because if you don't have good quality data, you cannot do anything else. You just need
exactly.
to prepare the data again, and you cannot create a magical AI thing that with no data creates a good output. It doesn't exist directly. So you need good quality data for having good quality outputs, and this is completely obvious maybe for you, for me, but sometimes it's something complicated to
The
say.
problem are the salespeople, because salespeople are doing their job very, very good, and they are selling AI products, AI, not products, AI idea, because there's a lot of products that do not exist yet,
Hmm.
but they are already sold. And they are doing a very good their job by selling those products and selling the idea of those products. But the thing that it's not mentioned is the one of data part, that AI cannot exist
Hmm.
without good data. And if you have no good data, imagine what quality of AI it will and what kind of results it will give you back. And if you can trust those results and where you are going to use those results. And so it's like blockchain Katina, right? That you're doing something good and it's concatenating with one to another and to another, and you have the results. It's secure result, it's a good result that is helping company. But in the end, if you are not doing things well from the beginning, the result won't be the best one,
Hmm.
or even it can give you more damage,
Hmm.
harm than benefit. And we have to think about the benefit, that all the time that we are using some technology, it should be beneficial for us, for our closer one, for the society, and because we are living in this world and
Yeah.
we have to think about it.
We need to keep it safe for us and
Yes,
for others, of course.
exactly.
Okay, Sophia, we are finishing. So I have a couple of questions that I will ask you all together. So you could answer them taking your time all together. So the first one is, if you could give an inspirational message that maybe someone that wants to learn about data governance or is curious about that, yeah, can you give an inspirational message and advice to this person? Then, which is your favorite type of coffee? Because this is the AI Coffee podcast, so I always ask at the end, which is your favorite type of coffee? And then also, how can the audience connect with you if they want to contact you?
Yeah. So I'm not sure if it will be inspirational, but I said at the beginning, the data community is one of the most wonderful community all over the world. So please talk to people. Talk to people. We are coming from different fields. We are coming from different experience, but we are very open to share and to uh, transmit our knowledge, but also to learn from you, because every person can give something back. And this is wonderful. This is the magic of connection, the magic of people connections, right? So I will always tell you, um, talk to people and ask them for the advice, and create this network that will support you and that will guide you. And this is amazing. About coffee, I love Americano. I love Americano. It helps me to be awake and active because I sleep well, but sometimes I would like to have more sleep. But yeah, and at the end, I drink coffee just to stay alive.
Nice.
Yeah, and what was the third one? I didn't
How
remember.
can
Sorry.
the audience contact you?
Yeah, through LinkedIn. Through LinkedIn, I'm open. I'm always open to talk to people. This community helped me a lot to learn what I know now, and is still, and it will help me a lot to develop myself. But don't be scared of this world. Don't be scared of data. Data is a good stuff, and in the end, all that we are creating now is for good. It's not for bad. So we need to stay positive because if we stay negative, the world is not a good thing. I'm coming from the country that it's in war now. I'm all the day I'm staying worried about my family. My mom and my granny, they are here with me in Spain since the war started. They moved, and I am worried every day about their life, their health, and the life of my family that is still staying in Ukraine. And all the news, all the media, they are not giving us beneficial information. They are trying more to scare us, to make us more worried. So try to find something that you like, contact this community, and I always try to help people as much as I can. So on LinkedIn, I'm very open to get in touch with and to just have a coffee or just a small talk about how's your day, and if I can help somehow, I'm always happy to help.
Yeah, and a proof of that is that I connect with you through LinkedIn, and you are here, so you are very open
Yes,
to these kind of conversations. Yeah, yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
thank you very much, Sofia. I think it was really, really interesting having you here. It was awesome knowing about your experience, knowing about your insights. That I think you have a lot of things to talk. I'm very sad because I need to stop now because it cannot be for 2 3 hours. But I think we could have enough materials for talking for 3 hours because I
Yes.
noted a lot of really relevant things here on our paper. But yeah, we just don't have enough time, but maybe in the future you are going to come back, who knows. So thank you very much, and yeah, I wish you all my luck and my best for everything, and yeah, and let's stay in touch.
Thank you, Alejandro. It was very nice to talk to you. I really enjoyed my first experience of podcast. So, yeah, I know I can talk for a lot of hours long, but I'm also sad that we had to stop here. But everyone can continue the conversation with Mr. LinkedIn. So, happy to join any conversation about data. And if I can help, I can repeat myself again. Feel free to get in touch with me.
Perfect. And also, thank you to you that are watching until the end. It's still a pleasure being with you one more week, being with all these inspirational guests as Sofia and others. So if you liked it, you can subscribe for free, and it really helps me to continue working with that. And yeah, let's stay in touch. See you on the next time. Bye bye.